Ghost Rider. This is something I just never saw the appeal of. I always thought Ghost Rider was exceedingly lame. He was like an idea that a bunch of 11-year-olds came up with as something that would be awesome. He's not really a superhero in the traditional sense, but a self-appointed protector of the innocent. There have been various Ghost Riders in Marvel Comics. There was an old Western hero, which later became known as the Phantom Rider, and two flaming skull guys, which are both demons attached to humans, Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch. I think they're currently both still Ghost Rider, which can get confusing, but, whatever. There was also a Ghost Rider from Marvel's 2099 imprint, which was something completely different and unique, and the only one that I found interesting. Anyway, the movie Ghost Rider is unlike unlike most comic book movies, as it's actually insanely loyal to the source material, to the point of slavish devotion, and really that's part of the problem. If I don't like the comic, and the movie follows the comic exactly, I'm not likely to like the movie. The movie stars Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze, though it's a while before we get to that, because at the beginning of the film he's a teenager. He's a stunt motorcyclist in a carnival along with his father, Barton Blaze. Barton is dying of cancer, something he's kept from his son, though I think Johnny realizes that his father is not in good health. Johnny's girlfriend Roxanne is going to move away. Her father is forcing her away from Blaze because he thinks he's not good enough for his daughter. Johnny proposes running away together, but before he's visited by the devil himself, Mephisto. Mephisto tells him that his father has cancer and offers to cure his father of cancer in exchange for Blaze's soul. Blaze doesn't really ever agree fully, but he does cut himself and bleeds on the contract, which is good enough for Mephisto. The next morning, Barton Blaze is cancer-free, and in such a good mood he even supports his son's decision to run off with his girlfriend, after a brief argument, that is, and gives him his prized motorcycle. But Mephisto causes Barton's death. Blaze is angry with Mephisto, but the devil did live up to his end of the bargain. Barton did not die of cancer. Blaze himself very soon after that gets into a fatal accident, but Mephisto keeps him alive, as he's no use to him dead. Knowing that he can't be killed leads him to an even more successful, death-defying career than his father had, making him the equivalent of Evel Knievel, a household name. As an adult, the character suddenly becomes a real moron. Maybe he can't die, but I think he got brain damaged from landing on his head so often. He's a big celebrity who declines all interviews, instead preferring to retire to his hangout and listen to the Carpenters and watch monkeys on TV. No accounting for taste, I guess. When Roxanne returns as a reporter, she actually gets him to interview, and we learn why he never gives interviews. He's a complete numbskull who can't even answer a simple question. Meanwhile, Mephisto's son Blackheart is causing all sorts of problems, looking for a contract that will make him all-powerful. His father can't control him on Earth, but he can use his rider, so he transforms Blaze into the Ghost Rider. We finally get to see Ghost Rider nearly an hour into the fucking movie. About fucking time. The standard rules from the comic apply, at least at first. He becomes the Ghost Rider at night and reverts back to human form during the day. Except later on in the movie, he only becomes Ghost Rider at night if he's around evil people. And even later than that, he's shown to be able to turn into Ghost Rider during the daytime if he's in the shade. I swear I'm not making this up. At one point, his hand becomes Ghost Rider's hand because he reaches into a patch of shade. The movie's logic is all over the place. Probably the worst part is where he rides his motorcycle right into a swamp. No problem. I'd believe that if he was Ghost Rider and he had the magic flaming bike of doom, but he was human at the time. Then a demon appears in the swamp water and pulls him down, showing that the water was way too deep for him to be riding a motorcycle across. And then he briefly turns into Ghost Rider to beat the guy, But what happens to his bike? Who knows? It should have sunk, right? But when he gets out of the swamp, it's waiting for him there on dry land. What the fuck? Blackheart gets a hold of the contract and becomes Legion and says the most hilarious line in the movie, "My name is Legion and we are many." Wouldn't that be our name is... You know what? Never mind. Ghost Rider tries punching Blackheart, he tries whipping him with his chain, and he uses his penance stare, but none of it really works. But somehow he effectively hurts him by scooping up fire and flinging it at him. But then 2 seconds later, Blackheart is unharmed. I can't go on much longer. My brain is attempting to jimmy its way out of my skull and head for Tijuana. Ghost Rider beats Blackheart, thereby winning his soul back, but he tells Mephisto, you know what, never mind, which pisses Mephisto off. Why? Who knows. Probably the only interesting character is Sam Elliott's character, the Caretaker, though he's sort of a mixture of the Caretaker from the Ghost Rider comics and the original Western Ghost Rider. Towards the end, you think they're teaming up, but then Phantom Rider, Caretaker, whatever the hell his name is, just says, hey, you know what? Wait, stop. You know what? I'm going to disappear now. Once again, I'm forced to say, whatever. The problem with the movie is that the premise is silly, but the execution is even worse. The special effects are not special, the action is dull, and it takes way too long for anything to happen. Johnny Blaze is not a likable character, he just comes off as a nitwit. Roxanne is a character that reeks of desperation and self-degradation, and Blackheart, he looks like he meant to show up for a Twilight movie and he took a wrong turn in the studio parking lot. Mephisto and Caretaker are a little bit interesting, but they barely have any screen time at all. Probably the worst thing of all, despite the bad reviews and piss-poor box office return, somehow this is getting a sequel. I don't know, though. Maybe it'll be one of those half-sequel, half-reboots Marvel is becoming known for. I don't know if you could make a decent Ghost Rider movie, but they definitely didn't do that here. I'm giving it a 2 out of a possible 10. Watching this is like making a deal with the devil. No good can possibly come out of it.